I think this next talk is, I'm very excited about this because I'm in the process of fitting a V2G unit in my house, and I don't really know what it is. But I love fitting things in my house is full of electronic gadgets, and people say, oh, what does that do? And I go, come and have a cup of tea. I'm not quite sure. But the next talk is about vehicle to grid, who, how, where, and when. And what does it mean? And I'd like to welcome three extremely highly intelligent, I'm even going to say, I'm going to get it out now, so that we don't have to say it again, game-changing, groundbreaking, rule-breaking individuals from around the world. So please welcome on the stage Tom Pakenham from Kaluza, Danieal from Moixa, and Robert Llewellyn from V2G. Let's break some ground. Thank you. We were just discussing before we came on about cliches that are often used, like game changer. I thought if we get them out now, then we don't have to use them. But you can slip in a quick game changer. So, Tom, let me start with you. So you now work for Kaluza, but you did work for OGO Energy, or work with them.
It's all part of the same group.
It's all part of the same group, isn't it? Yeah. But vehicle to grid, the notion of it that I get is you can put electricity into your car, but you can also take it out. So that's as far as I've got. So can you take it to the next level?
So I guess it's worth kind of taking a step back and sort of remind ourselves why we're doing it, which is driven by climate change and the need to install and build more renewable energy generation. And electric vehicles represent the perfect way of enabling that and moving to our new energy system. And by having a two-directional flow of energy, both from and to the vehicle, you can use a vehicle as essentially as a massive battery to balance the grid and to store energy when it's windy or when it's sunny, to put it in when it's nighttime or when it's not blowing a wind. It will be the kind of, if you think about, say, 5 million EVs, they're kind of the equivalent in terms of power they can provide at about 15 Hinkley Point power stations. So it represents this huge capacity for the system. And it's very early days in starting V2G, but we're just starting to roll them out. We've installed, I think OGO's scheme is the largest domestic vehicle-to-grid program in the world already, and we're going to install 1,000 of them next year or so. It's very exciting, and if you want to get a vehicle-to-grid charger, you can get one for free with OGO, and use your car to power the grid and export energy back to the grid and sell it.
Right. Wow. Because I mean, I was going to say one of the things was when I first saw a V2G unit, which was actually in Tokyo, I was told how much it cost. This is probably 3 years ago. It was incredibly expensive. I mean, and you thought, oh, I see, so it's really for kind of businesses and big industrial sites. Yeah. But the cost of them has come down.
I mean, when we started this journey, it was £15,000 for a vehicle-to-grid unit, sometimes more, and that's obviously not going to work. So we spent a lot of time and a lot of money building a unit that fits on people's homes and is small enough to make sense and low cost enough. We succeeded in doing that, and it's exciting to see the market. It's got a few others that are starting to do the same, and I think quite soon the cost will come down. It's going to become a really viable technology.
So Simon, now Moixa, I know I've had a lot to do with you. So you've got to stand here, you do batteries and solar and like that. But V2G, I didn't realise was in your remit, or starting to be in your remit.
Yeah, so Moixa makes batteries and smart chargers, which is the same technology used to smart charge electric vehicles, which are batteries on wheels.
Yeah. So it makes sense.
That's what you're doing. And we've got a lot of experience of managing lots of fleets of vehicles, both here in the UK and Japan, to work with householders and suppliers and the grid to lower costs. And as Tom mentions, electric vehicles, there's around 200,000, which is 6 gigawatt hours of batteries already in the UK fleets. And that will rise to around 800 gigawatt hours of batteries.
Right.
So we need all that in the future to store the nation's wind and solar to keep the whole country running on low carbon. And the UK is very unusual because it is an island, and therefore we're physically as well as politically somewhat disconnected from Europe, and all the energy.
I never noticed that. It's not a topic that's discussed.
And therefore we have to balance our grid when the wind's on and solar's on.
Yeah.
And we had to work really hard. We had to turn things on and off. We had to control when vehicles charge. And that becomes really critical in the future, as this kind of show in a couple of years' time will be millions of people. Millions of EVs in the country, all had to be managed, otherwise the grid is under stress at the moment.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the areas, because I do remember coming to Oxford, where you've done a big installation in lots of, so there are a lot of batteries that were talking to each other in one locale. So you've had that experience and the data from that.
So we've had lots of data, millions of hours, and so we can turn on and off parts of Oxford, which is really good when the grid's under constraint, or at times at high prices. If you're buying energy tomorrow at 6 p.m. and the weather changes, a lot of the profit and loss in the supplies is made by trading energy. Right. So we work with suppliers and households to lower the cost of energy by using smart technology like batteries and smart charging of vehicles. So initially, the vehicle grid is really grid to vehicle, managing when your vehicle charges. And in the future, like you use your car to power your iPhone, you could use your car to power your home as a backup when you run out of power if there's no grid, or to help the grid balance itself.
Yeah. And now, Robin, the project which I've heard one sentence about, which is in Utrecht.
Yeah.
But can you tell us about that? Because it did sound amazing. I mean, it sounded like that's definitely what we should be doing, and why aren't we doing that now? So can you explain what this project is?
Yeah, sure. Great to be here at this amazing event. We don't have something this big in the Netherlands, but it's really nice to see. I came up here for good that we have a car sharing project, fully electric, with 70 cars now in operation in Utrecht and Amsterdam region. And as a car share operator, I of course make money when the cars are driving, but I also want to make money when they're standing still. Right. So we've been working on vehicle to grid for quite some time. We started with DC stations, but for us the problem was that our cars are in the street, parked at public charging stations, which are all AC, as you are having mostly at home as well. And we really started to develop AC bidirectional charging. And it was not there yet. So we approached Renault. They came up to us and said, we want to help you develop this. So together with Renault and also the Dutch grid operators, which are very much fan of open standards, really helped us to develop an open standard for AC bidirectional charging. 2 months ago we had the king on the introduction of the first Renaults in the world that could support this technology. We introduced the first station that could support this. And the great news about this is not just for us that now we can start making money with our fleet of shared vehicles, but it further brings down the cost of AC bidirectional charging as a whole, because AC stations are like 4 to 6 times cheaper than DC at this point per outlet. So it really enables mass introduction of bidirectional charging, of V2G, and Renault is really supportive in this. We get more and more car companies showing interest, so we think this could be a momentum for bidirectional charging coming up.
Tom, just quickly, because one of the worries that I've heard people express who've got electric cars is, well, wait a minute, if you're constantly pulling the electricity out and putting it back in my car, it's going to wear the battery, it's going to use all the charging cycles quicker. And is that, presumably some research has been done into that area?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously it's a natural concern, and to date, we've thought about batteries in a very simple sense. The more charging cycles you do, the more damage it does to the battery, and therefore the greater the loss of value is. But what we're learning as we learn more about battery technologies, especially in the electric vehicle context, is that for a start, the rate at which you extract energy from a battery, or for that matter charge it up, is a very important feature. That is not it's not a linear thing, it's very complicated. And secondly, you can use vehicle to grid in the future, and no doubt we will, like we're seeing in other technologies. We use that technology to actually manage the state of charge of the battery and the health of the battery in order to improve the longevity of the battery. For anyone who's sort of worried about it though, for the moment, on the vehicle to grid trial, it's not a problem because the battery warranty is guaranteed.
Even with
yeah, so we work very closely with Nissan, which is the main vehicle manufacturer that offers V2G in the world, and everything is fine. So there's absolutely no risk to people who are on the trial. And in future, so I don't know if you've seen some of the newest mobile phones. They will when you go to bed, you plug it in and you'll go to sleep, and it will look at your alarm clock as to when you're waking up.
Right.
It will charge the battery to 80% straight away, or as quickly as possible. Then it will stop charging and leave it at an 80% state of charge. And then an hour before you wake up, it will then carry on the charge. Because one of the things that's really bad for a battery is to leave it fully charged.
Right.
Ironically.
Yes. Yeah. Fully charged is in fact the worst title possible for a show about electric vehicles. Never fully charged.
It's very good in a lot of context, but in this particular one. And of course, with one directional charger, you can't take the energy out.
Yes.
You can't go up and down the battery. Once it's full, it's full.
Yeah.
And therefore you're stuck in this state. So nothing to worry about, and it will get better and better and better. And I think maybe in the future people will possibly actually improve their battery's lifetime.
Yes, I mean I think that's the thing that's hard to grok when when it's not when you're used to pistons and combustion and all that stuff. But when you put your foot hard down in a Nissan Leaf, you're pulling more than 5 kilowatts out of the battery.
A lot.
Yeah. And presumably that's roughly the amount you're putting in and taking out of a car with a V2G unit.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. We charge anything between sort of 1.5 kilowatts and 6.
Right.
So that's the kind of rate we charge. And yeah, I mean, this is the reason why Tesla, for some period of time, limited the is it ludicrous or ridiculous? I was thinking.
Ludicrous. It is ridiculous. But
and also they started to sort of occasionally limit how many fast rapid charging people are doing. That's the same reason.
This is such a, because I know we're pushed for time because of various collapses of buildings. But yes, I haven't even said questions, and there's a hand up. But I think it's worth throwing this up to the audience because I'm sure you've got a lot of questions for this. But seeing as I saw your hand first.
Before they get the mic, can I just say one thing? For anyone who didn't know this, we are running downstairs at a company called Indra, which is a Malvern-based company which designed and manufactures our vehicle-to-grid charger. Is running demonstrations of vehicle-to-grid with a leaf there and making tea and coffee and popcorn. So if you'd like to go down, they're doing it on the hour, every hour for the whole of the show, and have some V2T.
V2T? I did not know that was going on. Well done.
Yes, hello. I briefly looked into the vehicle-to-grid offer that OVO are doing, and I didn't look into it in great detail, but I was slightly put off by the fact that if you've got solar panels, the way it works at the moment, as I understand it, is that you're not allowed to, you have to discount or cancel the tariff. There's some clause that involves you not being allowed to continue claiming the tariff, and you have to do it direct through OVO.
The export component, absolutely. Yeah. But we pay for exports, and we pay 2p on top of what you pay to buy the energy, which is really quite a lot of money. It might be 16p or so. So under the current export tariff, you get about 5p if you were in early, and if you weren't in early, you get basically nothing, unless you're on some energy supplier or an export tariff. So we built the tariff, so if you're not a solar customer, you can sell energy back to the grid and get paid your unit rate plus 6p. And if you plug in your car enough, you can earn enough money to drive for free. And if you're on solar, we pay your unit rate plus 2p. So you get paid for the solar that you're exporting as well as what you're exporting from your car. The team who's here, we've got a stand at the front. If you give them your details, we can send you the breakdown of how the solar, non-solar product works, and happy to share that with you. It should work. We had to reduce the rate because otherwise we were going to be bankrupting ourselves, paying solar customers for export rather than V2G export.
And is the agreement with the vehicle manufacturer still with Nissan, or could you?
At the moment, Nissan is the only company that will guarantee the warranty for vehicle-to-grid and that has real experience in this and understanding the profiles of the vehicle and stuff. But the next manufacturer most likely will be Mitsubishi, and obviously we're working with them because they have the Chalamo connection and then being part of the same alliance, they have quite a lot of crossover. Obviously Renault is doing quite a lot of work, but not in the UK yet. And one of the things Robert mentioned about AC bidirectional, which I agree is very exciting, and in the future, if every car is equipped with its own two-directional inverter, that would be really cool. But at the moment, in order to do AC bidirectional, there has to be an inverter somewhere in the chain, and that's currently in the car, so that's not widely available. But I suspect Renault will be the next one.
Yeah, Renault will make it available in 1.5 to 2 years in production, so then consumers can get them. We got the first 2 Renaults in the world that can do AC bidirectional, but they were specially made for us. So it's still part of the pilot test. They are working with production now, partners now, to get ready for market in 1.5 to 2 years. And there are also German car makers getting ready for AC bidirectional, coming with cars to the market already next year that can do AC bidirectional. So this is a very interesting trend because then you have the converter in the car, so you don't need a DC fast charging station later on.
And there's an opportunity to look at managing the whole home. So if you've got solar and you've got an EV and you've got a battery, how do you manage all those things well together to use the lowest carbon and lowest price? And so you could take advantage of the time of day tariff, which gives you low prices at night, and have a solar battery to store your solar to avoid paying peak prices. So you use all these things together and you get the best optimal situation. You give some control back to the supplier, they can use that to control to avoid energy prices when things go negative or positive and energy gets really expensive. And so the household isn't exposed to that and you can overall jointly save more money.
Because the quick thing I meant to ask earlier on is, at the moment, it is only CHAdeMO that we can use in this country for bi-directional charging, which is ironic because the number of cars with CHAdeMO is reducing and everything new is being made with CCS. So is that a longer term thing that it could be used in CCS?
Absolutely. I mean, so Moixa works with Honda, for example, and it's early days, but they're going to do their first vehicle will be CCS, the first vehicle. And the standard isn't nearly as developed because they've only been beginning it soon, and the association which does CCS bidirectional work is sort of targeting 2025. Right. But really what you need is a vehicle manufacturer that's prepared to put its neck on the line.
And it kind of works both ways. So there's an idea called the negawatt when you turn something off. It's instead of turning on a power station. So if you slow down the rate of charging of individual vehicles, that has quite a lot of benefits you'll get from future vehicles grid. The opportunity is if there's $500 billion going into batteries in the UK as we electrify vehicles over the next 20 to 30 years, that's a huge amount of money, but that money needs to work as part of the energy system. So any automotive company, so Tesla is losing money on every vehicle they sell because the batteries are quite expensive. But if they make that battery available to grid services, the battery can start making more money to make the overall vehicle cheaper and to make more money for the manufacturer and the end customer.
Right. I actually have the first AC bidirectional station in my car with me right now.
Right.
I will give it to Jim later today to start testing here because we think it's good to have both DC fast charging bidirectional and standard charging station bidirectional technologies. Right. So you can equip all demand in the market and really get it going.
I think it's probably worth just saying, I mean, this is a V2G panel, so obviously it's about V2G, but there's a real rapid growth of smart charging. So for customers of OVO who don't have a V2G, and this and Leaf, you can't do V2G, there's a smart charger, free smart charger if you sign up to the EV Everywhere tariff. Right. And that smart charger is doing really clever things, responding to grid signals that Simon was talking about, so that it's balanced. You can set it so that if there's a lower carbon generation, so high wind on the grid, you can charge then or slow down if there's more gas, for example, and also use it to balance the grid. So even if you're not an Nissan customer, but you're in an EV, you can start to access this clever technology.
And that's a home charger like Type 2 connector, so any car can use it.
Exactly. Right. And I think that's a really important point about what we're doing and what everyone's trying to do is, for years the energy system was big companies with big power stations, and what we're starting to see is a much more democratic energy system in the future. The digital technology allows that to happen. Solar panels, batteries, smart charger, vehicle to grid, and suddenly everyone can benefit from that. And it's very important that energy suppliers bring products to their customers which allow them to make money from this and participate in the energy system.
Another question. This gentleman here, yes, with the hat. Can you catch the microphone? Look, it's being hand. Look at that. What an amazing audience we have for each other. So gracious and generous.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Well, it's Tom well knows I sit on international smart grid V2G standards.
Just quickly move it so it's right in front of you. So that's better.
Standards. You touched on Charing won't have a CCS bidirectional standard for 2025. I work on the successor to OCPP. What do you guys, I don't know, siding in the middle, what protocols do you use at the moment? Do you use OCPP? How do you see that going long before 2025?
I mean, it isn't a Betamax VHS kind of game.
We need to, I think we need to know what OCPP is.
Yes.
Sorry, Open Charge Point Protocol.
We have like a side panel discussion.
Yes.
There are various standards, like originally we had VHS and Betamax. In the EV space, there are a lot of emerging standards of different ways to do it. And there's a challenge because you need everything to kind of work the same way. And you don't want to buy Betamax if the world goes to VHS and stuck in your vehicle. So there's a lot of work with chaps like this who have to sort out the standards. But you also need software to really manage and adapt. So, for example, we've had feed tariff here in the UK, and that's now finishing. So what we do with our batteries and our vehicles is different.
Yeah.
Similarly, we work in Japan, we use the opposite algorithm because you get paid the most to export all your solar. So we use batteries there to minimise home consumption during the day. So, and the rules will change, and as elections happen and governments happen and climate change is significant, we have to keep on adapting over the life of these assets. I think the interesting thing is every vehicle is going to electrify. So Honda's committed that all its European vehicles will be electric by 2025. And Honda also makes 30 million other motor-based products which will become battery operated. So the world needs lots of these vehicle-to-grid control technologies to run itself, and these things are part of the future energy system. And they become cheaper if they work with the grid and the energy rather than work against. And so it's a major technical challenge, and these things do need to standardise. But then if you look at telecom has evolved the internet, which is pretty stable, and that's how a lot of innovations around it. So we're quite confident that the standards work is making reasonable progress. China maybe is been quite small in its adoption.
These standards are really important because we now roll out 150 public V2G charging stations in the city of Utrecht for the city of Utrecht, so everyone can charge there. But we have to make sure that everyone can also use V2G functionality, no matter what car they have.
Right.
So Utrecht, I think, will be the first city in the world with a public V2G infrastructure. So we look very carefully together with the grid operators and the car industry what standards are used, so that any car in the future that supports this technology can just click in and make money, not just the cars of V2G Solar, but any car. So
I quite like the idea of I want MGT, which is because I've got a battery electric mower, so that's mower to grid. In the winter when I'm not mowing, those batteries could be, they're not that big.
Honda's your company.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
We're just imagining all those batteries, whether it's a home battery or battery on wheels or a battery on a bike. And there's lots of these scooters downstairs. And there's a lot of batteries even in laptops and devices. And if they're managed well with the grid doesn't need to spend on more central power plants. It can use all the wind and solar. So you need batteries to make renewable energy economy work, because otherwise you can't. The sun doesn't shine at night, wind doesn't blow all the time. So you need lots of battery management. The great thing is the world's electrifying really quickly. And if we do electric vehicles well and energy well, then we hit the carbon targets of halving carbon every decade under the Sustainable Development Goals. So it's a really critical piece of technology, and everyone here is an ambassador for this urban space to go and share messages about electric vehicles, about fully charged and these new technologies. It's still a young industry. This is one building. We need the whole country to be in these future events.
I think we should get another gentleman here. Can you? Beautiful underarm throw, fantastic catch.
So this has a slightly more niche use that I can see could be valuable in certain circumstances. When you get bi-directional, presumably the same V2G technologies would let you do V2V.
Yeah, sure. That's why the standard is so interesting. I mean, this week it was in the news that the new electric pickup trucks in the States will get the possibility to charge when someone is stranded with an empty car. For example, Soda Motors, the small German startup which will start producing cars next year, will also have a standardized AC bidirectional charger on board of the car, and it can charge it up to another car. Right now it's probably limited between Sono Motor cars, but in the future you could basically see cars, electric drivers helping each other if they are stranded. And that's an extra nice thing of the standardization, that basically it should always work with each other. and really help not only the business case for storage and really renewable energy getting better and better, but also these kinds of purposes.
But actually, you don't need to revert to AC to V2V, so it's much better from an energy point of view just to have a DC-DC. Yeah, but I'm sure playing into that space.
Any other? There is an episode, we've done an episode about the Sono Motor Sun, where we made coffee from just plugged into the front of the car. I mean, it's such an amazing little car. I've really got my fingers crossed that they make a success of it.
I like the idea that also that you could fill up at work, come home and plug it to a grid at home.
Well,
Just like give people electricity.
Don't tell the tech man. Yeah, I'm sure there's
people have thought about that.
Yeah. Keep that one quiet. You might get away with it for a few years. There's one right at the back that's a challenge. Could you get that? This gentleman here. Go on.
Alright, I was wondering, not that I did my homework so well, but I believe that the British tariff structure has much more fluctuation than, for example, the Dutch, as you will probably know. So from a consumer perspective, the V2G system makes more economical sense right in Britain than, for example, in Holland.
I think this makes you say, if I go back to the energy island challenge, so we've got 30 gigawatts on the grid as of now, which are gigawatts coming from Europe. Last week, one of those lines broke, so that gigawatt didn't come from Europe. Now, we have to manage that 30 gigawatts locally, or 50 gigawatts, by turning things on and off with the wind and the weather. Now, Holland and Germany are hyper connected as a grid, so when there's 40 gigawatts of solar on in Germany, they actually pay Austria 6 billion euros a year to take away its energy. It's too much, you know. And they get lots of energy from Holland on the internet with the wind. And so they've got a balancing system which is interstate. Nevertheless, if you take the role of a battery in a local network, if I used to put the fairly called Rob, the only EV in the village.
Yes.
Now he's got lots of EV friends. Now if they all charge at the same time, that's a problem for his village because there's not enough wires in the ground. So the government has to spend 8 billion a year updating this, or allow charging to be controlled, because if more people adopting EV creates a lot of challenge for local management. And this is the same as a city, as you'll find in Holland, that lots of chargers in the city. It wasn't designed originally to have lots of very fast chargers, to have millions of vehicles charging in that location. So location of use, as well as time of use, becomes really, really important. Whilst as a nation state, Holland can deal with flows by managing its connections. The idea of a virtual power plant is to aggregate lots of batteries of EVs together, and they work like a virtual interconnector. So that's the opportunity of electric vehicles and batteries, is really to work with the grid and help local charging and help local constraint management.
There's so much here, it's a very big subject, but in terms of this point, location of use, we're about to launch, hopefully very soon, launching a product for people who have smart chargers in V2G units in UKPN areas, a certain part of the country, that will allow them to be paid to offer extra flexibility on local networks. So we'll start to see that kind of thing coming through, and again, this means that the customers who own electric vehicles and are prepared to support the grid will get paid to do so. And ultimately, the objective is to have free electric miles and free electric driving, and it's already pretty cheap relative to a combustion engine, but then it starts to become very attractive to customers, and then in the long term, it allows us to build more renewable energy.
Yeah.
Because that's what we need, that storage. I think in the energy system, there's this kind of weird thing. For a long, long time, we turned on the power stations up and down according to how much demand there was on the system. And so that was what we used to do. But when we get more renewables, we can't control the wind. So you can't control the supply anymore. So we have to turn the whole thing completely on its head and manage the energy system entirely through demand and storage, which is an industrial revolution we're about to see in our energy system. It's a huge change and requires incredibly sophisticated technology right down to very small energy devices, and it requires a system that includes everybody, so they want to participate in that, and it's very exciting, and I think we're going to see some really cool things over the next few years.
And I think in the end, the reason why Germany was really ahead of the rest with the Energiewende, as they call it, with the renewables, was because they could get off the peaks to the rest of Europe surrounding them. So the Dutch said, yeah, give it to us because we don't have any solar panels. But now, last year, the Netherlands was suddenly in the top 3 of solar installing countries in Europe. So we are starting to produce our own solar now. So the Germans cannot get rid of their solar peaks anymore. So in the end, I think this car, as a battery on wheels, will become more and more profitable, standing still, not driving. And that's good news for us as a car sharing company, but in the end, I think for all electric drivers and for the transition as a whole, because the business case for driving electric is getting better and better every year.
And we've also seen another issue in Japan where there's a lot of rural electrification going on, because the distance to drive to a petrol station has been going up 5 miles, and 5 miles is now 30 to 40 miles to get to a petrol station when you can just fill up at home from a power socket. So we're seeing, we thought it was just in cities, now people are buying electric vehicles in rural because it's closer and greener to get fuel than filling up by driving a long distance away.
Wow, that is fascinating. Can we get another question? Because I think one more. But down the front, please. Yes.
So start halfway.
Go on, give it a go.
Oh, that was so close. So close, unbelievable.
This is a question for Robin. Amsterdam given the move to vehicle to grid, is Leander going to have to change their charging model in the Netherlands for home connections? Because at the moment it's a right pain.
Yeah, Leander, you mean the grid operator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were very closely together with the grid operators. In Utrecht it's not Leander, but it's Stedin, but they are really close working together as well. Well, they really see great benefits, as already mentioned, especially at the local grids. There's a really great benefit for doing bidirectional, for doing V2G, because all the peaks on the grid, by charging more and more electric cars, by electrifying your house, by all solar panels getting everywhere, this really is a big burden for the grid operators, and not just in the Netherlands, but everywhere. I mean, I was at the large EVS show in Lyon 2 weeks ago, where Renault presented AC bidirectional charging. And Eden is the largest grid operator in Europe, doing all of France, really got into this as quick as they could, because for them, stabilizing the grid at local level is really stopping them from investing a lot. And in the end, it will mean that they will have to change their tariffs a bit, because the higher the power the connection has, the more flexibility I can give them. But it's 10 times as expensive as the lower power connection. So we're talking with regulators about that, to change that. We're showing them in pilots that it's better to do it the other way. It takes time, too much time, much too much time. But in the end, we will get them on board, and it will change. Yeah.
Thank you, Bob.
I think we have to call it there. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for engaging. A big round of applause for our amazing